What would you do if you bought a storage unit and found something unimaginable inside? In August 2022, an ordinary New Zealand family made a purchase that would haunt them forever, paying just $431 for contents that contained 2 suitcases with a terrible secret. Inside were the bodies of 2 children, 8-year-old Yuna and 6-year-old Minu, who had been dead for 4 years. Their own mother, Hakyung Lee, was accused of killing them. But was this the act of a cold-blooded murderer? Or a woman so consumed by grief that she lost her mind? Today we're uncovering one of New Zealand's most tragic cases, the Suitcase Murder. To understand how this tragedy unfolded, we need to go back to the beginning. Hakyung Lee, originally named Hakyung Lee, moved from South Korea to New Zealand in 1993 when she was just 13 years old. After her father's death when she was 18, she returned to South Korea briefly for university, but came back to New Zealand to study hospitality. It was at church where she met Lan-jo in 2006, and they married that same year. Those who knew them described them as a happy little family. Okay, so I'm gonna call the husband Joe and the wife Lee, okay? Joe worked as a supervisor at Auckland Airport, while Lee became a homestay mother focusing on raising their children. Their daughter Yuna was born in September 2009, followed by their son Minu in March 2012. Minu had a cleft palate and a speech impediment. Friends and teachers described the children as well-behaved, and Lee and Joe as caring, devoted parents. But this ordinary family life was about to shatter. In March 2017, the family received devastating news. Joe was diagnosed with esophageal cancer. Over 8 brutal months, Lee watched her husband deteriorate. During this period, she was prescribed nortriptyline, an antidepressant for sleep troubles and dizziness related to the stress. This same medication would later play a crucial role in our story. As Joe's condition worsened, Lee began making alarming statements. She texts Joe at one point, "If you die, I will die with our kids." She repeatedly told her mother she wanted herself and the children to die with her husband. These weren't passing comments, they were warnings of what was to come. In November 2017, Lan-jo lost his battle with cancer. The family's anchor was gone, and Lee's spiral into what her lawyer would later call madness began. She received a $330,000 life insurance payout and embarked on what can only be described as a spending spree, pulling the children out of school and taking them on extravagant holidays to Australia's Gold Coast, South Korea, and within New Zealand, staying at luxury Hilton hotels. Most chillingly, she didn't tell the children their father had died, telling a teacher she wanted to wait until after back-to-back holidays. When her mother begged her not to harm the children, saying, "If you wanna die, die alone. Leave them with me," Lee coldly responded, "You can't even speak English. How can you look after them?" By May 2018, Lee had completely isolated herself and the children from family and friends. The children were no longer attending school. Then we reached late June 2018, the final days of Yuna and Minu's lives. The last confirmed evidence of the children alive comes from June 27, 2018. Their PlayStation accounts, Princess Yuna and Hero Minu, earned their final Minecraft trophies. Investigators would later note that Minu was found wearing underwear marked Wednesday, which matches that final day of activity. So what happened that Wednesday? Lee admits she dissolved her antidepressant medication in fruit juice and gave it to both children. The court heard how the children drank the juice and then they became drowsy from the medication and they toddled off to their own beds and went to sleep there and then. Tragically, they never woke up. The big question, Did the drugs kill them, or were they used to incapacitate them? Forensic pathologist Dr. Simon Stables testified that because of the composition, we can't know for certain. The children might have died from the overdose, or as he stated, if stupefied by drugs, it would be very easy to suffocate a child and leave no signs at all at post-mortem. Either way, the result was the same. 2 innocent children were dead by their mother's hand. What happens next reveals either the calculated actions of a murderer covering her tracks or the confused behavior of someone in the grip of mental illness. Let's break down Lee's actions in the days following her children's deaths. The same day the children died, Lee purchased a courier envelope to apply for a new name. The next day, June 28th, she paid for a storage unit at Safe Store Papatoto. She bought duct tape and rubbish bag from Middleton that same day, returning 3 days later from a padlock and more plastic bags. She wrapped each child's body in 3 layers of plastic bags, tied with knots, placed them in suitcases in the fetal position, locked them, wrapped them in further plastic bags, and sealed them with duct tape. She made 2 trips on June 30 to deposit the suitcases at the storage unit. In the following weeks, she obtained a new driver's license and passport under the name Hakyung Lee, spent $900 in a single hair salon visit, sat a driving test in a newly purchased VW Golf, and booked a business class flight to Seoul. She flew to Korea on July 29, 2018, just over a month after killing her children. For 4 years, the suitcases sat in Unit 456 at Safe Store Papatoto. Lee continued paying the storage fees from Korea until April 2022, when she ran into financial trouble while at a psychiatric facility. After months of non-payment, the storage facility auctioned the contents for $431. On August 11, 2022, the winning bidder was loading his trailer when he noticed a dead rat smell, cutting into one suitcase. He found multiple black plastic bags tightly tied inside one another, and then made the gruesome discovery. Police confirmed the family who found them had no connection to the deaths. Meanwhile, Lee's mother had been searching for years. She finally located Lee after she was listed as next of kin at a Korean psychiatric facility. When asked about her grandchildren, Lee responded, "What are you talking about? I never had any children." After the discovery, Interpol issued a red notice, and Lee was arrested in Ulsan, South Korea in September 2022. She was extradited to New Zealand in November 2022. The trial began September 8, 2025 at the Auckland High Court before Justice Jeffrey Venning. Lee represented herself with 2 standby lawyers. Throughout the trial, she sat with her head bowed, hair covering her face, watching proceedings via video link from another courtroom. The prosecution, led by Natalie Walker, argued this was murder. The Crown suggests that when she gave her 2 young children the medicine, it was a selfish act to free herself from the burden of parenting alone. It wasn't the altruistic act of a mother who had lost her mind and believed it was the right thing to do. It was the opposite, she said. They pointed to her calculated actions after the deaths as evidence she knew it was wrong. The defense didn't deny Lee killed the children, but argued she was not guilty by reason of insanity. Her lawyer described her descent into madness after her husband's death, saying she believed it was best if they all died together. When she took the antidepressants herself along with the children, she got the dose wrong and woke up to find them dead. After just 3 hours of deliberation, the jury returned with their verdict on September 23, 2025, saying that she was guilty on both counts of murder. Lee showed no reaction, standing with her head down as the verdict was read. She now faces life in prison with a minimum non-parole period of 10 years. So what are we left with after examining this heartbreaking case? 2 children who should be alive today, Yuna, who would now be 16, and Minu, who would be 14. A mother who either carelessly murdered her children or was so destroyed by grief that she lost touch with reality completely. The question of whether this was insanity or calculated murder will likely be debated for years. Was this a woman so consumed by grief after her husband's death that she genuinely believed killing her children was merciful? Or was it, as the prosecution argued, a selfish act to free herself from the burden of single parenting? What do you think? Was justice served with this verdict? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and peace.